It is time to see who shall win the battle of these twin kings.
Thank you to our $5 patrons Redwolf4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. Thank you to our $3 members Recliner Plays and Redwolf4765, and a very big thank you to our $25 patron Alex Ice Rose.
Now, we come to this breakdown / discussion on the battle between the King of Curses and the King of Demons. Please, if you're on those and who's going to win, in the comment section down below, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon below. You support as low as $1 month, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? Pencil, and here we are to do a battle between the King of Curses, Ryomen Sukuna, and the King and Lord of all demons, the Demon King. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. Editing me. Ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. It's that time. The time for a battle. More so, another battle with very specific parameters. I plan to do my own battle on the King of Curses versus the King of Demons, but I figured I might as well use the expert's opinion. Obviously, I am but a novice, and thusly, these characters must only be as powerful as Versus Battle Wiki says. I would never have a differing opinion from this website. Never. Ever have a differing opinion for one reason or another. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. Yeah! Alright, so obviously we're going to be using two different forms for them. Not really. They're going to be in two unique forms, but they're going to be in their most powerful forms. I'll add extra abilities, like if certain spoilery things are things. I mean, it's kind of already spoiled here. But like, if spoilery things are things, then we'll add them too, because sometimes it may not be included. But for the most part, it'll be their characters at the full strength. So this will be true form, 20 finger, girthy and beefy Sukuna, and it will be full power prime DKP. DKZ, Demon King's Elders. It'll be these two. They're both of comparable size. I was considering using this one, like this Demon King, but like he's way too big. he's like the Sukuna versus Kurama matchup all over again, and I don't want to do Sukuna like that. Could do Possessing Meliodas, but that's not the strongest variation of him. If we're gonna use strongest Sukuna, I might as well use strongest Demon King. You could argue that this isn't even the strongest Demon King. I can see the arguments for that. I may make him on occasion. But these two are the ones that are around humanoid size. I've already used this one. Jeez, I'm clicking everything. I've already used this one. That's also like a man versus a mountain again. So it's not exactly all too good. So we're going to be using the two in humanoid but beefy form. With that being the case, let's go. With the title Ryomen Sukuna, he would traverse the ages after death as a cursed object. We Jujutsu sorcerers wouldn't even be able to destroy his remains preserved in its own grave wax. Gojo Satoru telling Itadori about Sukuna. Yes, that is big fact. Sukuna himself was beastly. And he is beastly. Let's see how beastly he is up against the Demon King. I am death. I am fear. I am a god. The Demon King to the 7 deadly sins. Ah, I feel so relieved. I can't do it. I feel so relieved. I must thank you, Zeldris. Thanks to your sacrifice, I have obtained my original power. Rather, my body and power from my youth. So, this is the strongest variation of the Demon King. According to this, you can, like, quickly, I'll glaze over it. Like, once again, this will be very similar to the Zeldris vs. Gojo video where I talk about, like, I intersperse my own thoughts and who I may think would win, but we'll cover that in its own, like, actual proper battle with a narrative and why they're fighting and stuff like that. We'll do that separately, but you could argue this one's the strongest solely for the fact that it was able to quash the one Ultimate Escanor when this guy was getting his face pounded in by it. So, but the only thing is, the thing that causes problems with this guy being the strongest variation is that they were literally saying he wasn't. Like, oh, he has a weak and brittle body now. Oh, he's just not him. Oh, you have to reach to possessing Britannia and stuff like that. But arguably, this guy is the strongest. But then at the same time, you can make the argument that this is the strongest because he literally says, like, oh, this is the power and body I had in my youth. So, do what you will. I'm literally making, they're like 5 to, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then like old. So there are many variations of the Demon King. I'll be making a Demon King ranking video from weakest to strongest soon enough. So that'll be cooking. You'll get my official opinion there, an official full-on argument. But I'm just saying, if there are any contentions of like, hey, the mountain has better feats, I'm doing it mainly for the body size stuff, and also just because let's just go with the simpler interpretation rather than getting more complicated. So let's see. Summary. Ryomen Sukuna is a mighty cursed spirit known as the King of Curses. He's one of the primary antagonists of Jujutsu Kaisen. Bro is in fact beastly. Stay hydrated, folks. Let's see. According to legend, during the golden age of Jujutsu over 1,000 years ago, Sukuna was an imaginary demon. Though in truth, he was a human sorcerer. Imaginary demon? So you're telling me that the Demon King Father Sukuna did... No, I'm kidding. But the cooperation of all past Jujutsu masters, not Jujutsu sorcerers, Jujutsu masters, succeeded in slaying Sukuna. However, he was too strong to be destroyed entirely. Due to this, to this day, remains of 20 indestructible fingers preserved in grave wax traverse the ages as cursed objects coveted by many. In the present, Sukuna has been incarnated into Yuji Itadori due to the latter eating one of his cursed fingers, which contained his power in fragments. Yes and no. I mean, I guess, let me see. I highly doubt the summary changes if you click on the other tab. Spoilers, but you know. Well, if you're new here, I do talk about spoilers. So spoilers for the manga. But let's see, did they change it? Yeah, they don't change it. But I guess that makes sense. It's the main like general narrative. You don't want to drop like. But then again, the thing is, like, if you're coming up versus Battle Wiki, you're just gonna get spoiled. Like, if you haven't read Seven Deadly Sins, all of these are spoilers. Like, just the keys themselves. So I don't exactly know, but you kind of just stuck out of luck there. You got spoiled. My fault. I ain't mean to do you like that. But technically, like, the summary should include, like, he has switched bodies and is currently possessing Megami-Fushiguro in order to obtain the power of his 10 Shadows technique. But once again, this is very general summaries. Like, you usually don't come to versus Battle Wiki for this. I'm just, like, kind of doing a whole profile review on top of the battle itself. Summary. The Demon King is the ruler of the demonic clan and the father to Meliodas and Zeldris. Not just the ruler, but also the creator. Don't forget that part. He literally made them. He birthed them all, which is weird to think about. Like, red demons came from him. Gray demons came from him. Green demons came from him. Everyone came to the Demon King. Not to the Demon King. From the Demon King. Just think about that. But he created the 10 Commandments and waged war against the supreme deity in the goddess clan, eventually resulting in his being sealed in purgatory. I also got to see that. That's another thing that, like, is very important to the plot of Seven Deadly Sins. Like, if the Demon King wasn't in purgatory, the whole story would change. I need to write that down and remember that. I may do a what if on that. What if the Demon King was ever still in purgatory? But regardless of that, I mean, there's really like a whole plot you could do if like just the Demon Clan didn't get sealed. Like, the story would change drastically. But 10 Commandments eventually being resolved and sealed in purgatory. He's remained there ever since, guiding the inhabitants of purgatory to gain power. Yep. So that's another weird, complicated thing we'll talk about in the Demon King ranking video. But this also is a little like he's dead. He's not here anymore. He got one shot by his kid, but they do have a pretty decent amount of information on. Let's move on. Instead of the review of just the general stuff, let's move on to their power and stats. Tier, at least 8C, varies with cleave. 8B, likely higher, varies with cleave. At least low, 7B, likely higher, varies with cleave. High 7A with 11 shrine, unknown, varies with cleave. Alright, makes sense. High C, high 6C, high 6C, at least possibly 6C, possibly higher. Unknown 6C in a second form, 6C at full power, high 6C. So it's just 6C at everything. Overall, it's looking like, even at his lowest, like, I'm just going off the tiers already. Like, just going off the tiers. It looks like the Demon King does have an advantage here. Like, it's a very small advantage, though. Like, I mean, depends on what you mean by small. Like, 7A to 6C it's a noticeable difference. The numbers are different. Like, trust me, it's very important that the Demon King already has a stats advantage, but we'll see. Name, Ryomen Sukuna. Name, Demon King. Origin, Jujutsu Kaisen. Origin, Nanatsu no Taizai. Gender, male. Gender, male. At least 1,000 years old chronologically. Over 1 billion years old. 1,567,800,000. That's an old boy right there. That's an old boy. And it is true, he is even older than that. We don't actually know how old either of the deities were, or how long ago Chaos really was. He wasn't so long ago that human sorcerers were able to forget about him. But it was old enough that demons seemingly forgot about. I don't know. The whole timeline of super early, like primordial Seven Deadly Sins is super strange. Like, we don't know much about it, but it's interesting. But let's see. Classification. The King of Curses. Jujutsu Sorcerer, formerly. You're screaming again. Why? Why must you scream? But King of Curses, Jujutsu Sorcerer, formerly the disgraced one, the King of Poisons. Man, the Fallen was still such a cold name. I know, it was a mistranslation, it was a fan translation, but man, the Fallen, like the disgraced one's pretty cold too, but like, it doesn't hit like the Fallen. Well, let's see. Classification: Demon King, King of the Demon Clan. Sort of, he's kind of just the god of the demon. Like, he literally just made him. Like, not in his own image, presumably, except for his own kids, but those kids are born biologically. Like, presumably the Demon King isn't actually everyone's dad, or else all the demons would be even stronger than they are. But he popped them out. I'm not sure how, though. Nor do I really want to find out. But let's see their powers and abilities. Powers and abilities, Itadori's vessel. Superhuman. Okay, so they do have the separate key for Megami. So we are going to be using, like, full power, a hypothetical full power 20-finger girthy Sukuna, but he will also have Megami's abilities. So, we'll see. Superhuman physical characteristics, stats, amplifications, sorcerers, and curses can increase the physical power by reinforcing with curse energy. Yup. Energy manipulation, enhanced senses, can see cursed spirits which normal humans cannot see. Big facts. Normal, non-physical interaction can interact with cursed spirits which are abstract and formed from human thoughts and negative emotions. Big facts. Soul manipulation, high-level sorcerers can understand the contours of the soul. Previously damaged Mahito, who casually can only be harmed by substantially attacking the soul, implied to be capable of doing Mahito's idle transfiguration. This is true. And why must you scream so loud? I'm gonna put you away farther from the camera. I can't put you too far though. I can't put you too far though. We're gonna put you over here. Maybe if you'll fit. Lower. Yeah. All right. Over here. That sounds a little bit better, but it's still probably pretty loud. But with that being the case, no, it's so far away. Soul manipulation. The only thing about soul manipulation with Sukuna is that it's not entirely sure if he can properly do it. Like, Mahito is a definitive soul manipulator. That's just confirmed. But isn't the whole reason that Itadori can attack Mahito properly and, like, hunt his soul is because he's dual-souled and Sukuna has a strong soul? Like, Sukuna's soul being strong made has to do with the amount of cursed energy he has as the King of Curses. I don't think that has, like, general soul manipulation, but he should be resistant to it. Resistant, not immune. We'll talk about it, because soul stuff is interesting with the Demon Clan anyway. Let's see. Master hand-to-hand combat, completely outclassed Megami in combat skill. Jogo couldn't even land a single strike on him, even though he was holding back. Big facts, bro, is arguably, like, next to the heavenly restriction users in Yuji, and Gojo, obviously, the best hand-to-hand combatant in the verse. Like, sure, he hasn't had many fights where he's shown off his hands. He's much more like a CT user, but whenever he does show off hands, he's literally, like, unmatched, unrivaled, even by powerful opponents like Jogo, like Yorozu in recent chapters. Anybody really, he's kind of just... He got the hands on. He got the hands. He is buttery with it. He has the schmooze. We can't knock that. But let's see. Regeneration, at least low mid, could regenerate a missing heart, regenerate you sliced off hand. Yep, so he is very difficult to... Though, notably, this is reliant on the idea that his head is intact. Presumably. I'm not sure if he has any special, like, curse properties in his original body. Like, I'm not sure. Could Jogo regenerate if you blew his head off? Could Mahito? Could Hanami? I don't know. I wonder. But if he has the same limitations as sorcerers, if his head is blown off, then he can't regenerate anymore, because that controls RCT. Unless it's fully automatic, like with Hikari, or he's healing so quickly that his brain is reforming as it's being destroyed. But if it literally just gets pasted, then Sukuna should be gone. Presumably, that's how they got rid of him in the first place. But then again, if they're not strong enough to destroy his fingers, how are they strong enough to destroy his head? I don't know. But let's see. Healing. Healed Megami to keep him alive if he took a hit from Maharaga. That is true. He does have access to the highest level of RCT in the verse, which is the healing of others, which is crazy. I wonder why he knows how to do that. Like, maybe it's just for Uraume. Like, why does he know how to heal? I get him having RCT for himself, right? But, like, what? 3 characters in the entire verse can use RCT for other people? I don't think Rika can. I think Rika just killed people. I think, yeah, Yuta healed. So it wasn't Rika. So, like, 3 people in the whole verse, and Sukuna's one of them. And he's, like, the least kind of person you'd expect to do any healing. Shoko makes sense. She's a doctor. Yuta makes sense. He's a kind kid. But why does Sukuna know how to heal other people? I don't know. I mean, it's probably just, like, the mastery of Jujutsu, right? Like, it's just a skill you get. Like, I played a little bit of Batman Arkham City, and I was like, oh, I remember back in the day when I first played, it was like, I'm just going to unlock every ability on the skill tree, even though I don't need them. Like, am I ever going to use X ability? No. Do I want it for the completionist in me? Yes. I'm assuming Sukuna's just a completionist. Let's see. Healing, limited body control. He drew 2 extra eyes on Yuji's face and create mouse anywhere on Yuji's body. Yep. Now that I think about it, I think his whole... I mean, it depends on how you think his cursed body was formed, but presumably that's also part of his body control. Like, bro was a human, became a curse, popped out the second face, popped out the 2 extra arms, popped out the mouth belly. Like, he probably did that all himself. That's all probably under body control. But presumably, it's only on his own vessel. We haven't actually seen him... I'm trying to think, have we? No, I don't think we've ever actually seen him control a body he's not in possession of. So... Ooh! Got some water caught in the throat. But... let's see. Explosion manipulation and fire manipulation. Create a giant flame explosion in Shibuya. Is that manipulation? I mean, I guess it counts as manipulation. I don't think, though. Does that really count as... like, when I think of explosion manipulation, I mean, like, someone who could, like, control the size and weight. And it just seems like he was just so powerful. He let out a fire and just... vroom. But maybe that might as well be manipulation. Poison manipulation and power nullification. A domain expansion is neutralizing all techniques. Can neutralize the techniques in domain amplification. Yep. But does he have that? I mean, presumably, if we're going with like the whole idea that he just has everything, like he's been cooking for thousands of or 1,000 years, he should just have everything. Realistically, he should have domain amplification if Kenjaku could teach it to like Jogo and Hanami, but that's interesting. He's never shown that. But then again, he's never had a reason to. He's always been so powerful that he never necessarily need to pop it out. The reason, realistically, if he was going to use it, he should have used it against Gojo. You would think. But I don't know. We'll see. Poison. Sorry, I was looking for where I was. He can neutralize the techniques with his domain amplification, homing attack. Oh, yeah, homing attack. Additionally, techniques have been granted in the domain while it's an opponent. That is true. Fear manipulation. His presence causes people in curses to feel inferior to Sukuna. To the Sukuna. To the Sukuna. Not to Sukuna. To the Sukuna, which is true. There definitely is a THE at the beginning of his statements. Let's see. Force manipulation. Oh, no, not force manipulation. Fear manipulation, yep. Forcing them to act instinctively to survive. Possession. Sukuna can transfer his consciousness to another body from the removed finger from his previous body, causing him to assume the body of the person who swallowed his finger. Yep, he did that to Megami. Resistance to soul manipulation prevents Mahito from interacting with him and Yuji's soul. Yeah. I don't know what the upper limits of that is, though. You'll see why. I'll talk about it when I get to the battle part, but obviously there's a certain ability that the Demon King should have that should do something with this. But we'll see. Resistance to soul manipulation, yep. Biological manipulation, heat manipulation. Unfazed, fighting on top of Drogo's heated meteor. Not scared of Drogo's domain expansion. Poison manipulation. Yep, because he is immune to all poisons. They don't say why, but yeah, poison manipulation is true. He is just not able to be affected by poisons due to his nature as the king of curses. Even Yuji, just his vessel, gets that poison immunity, which is really cool to think about. But ironically enough, the narrator says it, so I'm inclined to believe it that it's Sukuna the reason that Itadori is resistant to poisons. But you could argue the reason Eso and Kezichu's poison didn't work on Yuji is because he's related to them. Like that's not entirely outlandish to say. He is their brother, and like Kenjaku says, "Oh, I'm your father." Well, when he's fighting Choso, he's like, "I'm your dad. Your poison blood just doesn't work on me because we literally share it." Tough luck. So you could also just blame that on Yuji's ability that he's related to them, and thusly he should be fine because he's related to them through Kenjaku. They have the same dad, but Kenjaku's Yuji's mom. Like it, maybe, but I think Sukuna would just he'd be immune to poisons. Let's see, Fushiguro's vessel. All previous abilities, darkness circulation, create beings to fight for him out of shadows. This is true. Every single 10 shadows technique is just that. He can also dive into shadows. But let's see, they probably mentioned that. Summoning with the exorcism ritual. I guess, yeah. Electricity manipulation with Nue, yep. Water manipulation with Max Elephant, yep. Soccer generation by touching the ground with Cleave, Spiderweb. Skill, seeing cause a vibration from the earth, exploding the ground around him. Alright, so they don't have everything here. And since I'm trying to operate solely on what the wiki has in terms of abilities and stuff like that, we won't be including the Madoka Deer, and we won't be including Piercing Bull. But we will include Maharaga, because we know he has access to that. And we'll include the, we don't know, but that's the only thing we don't know, and I can't include that. That's the thing, it's not even,
So if I'm sticking to the concept of this video particularly, I won't include those. I won't include anything that wasn't mentioned here, which is unfortunate because he has great abilities. But since I'm doing my own battle, you'll get the full coverage of those abilities then. So that's it. That's all Sukuna's got cooking. Really, really solid kit. I wouldn't say it's as broken as Gojo's kit, just because Gojo's kit is like atomic manipulation and stuff like that. But overall, Sukuna is still really, really good. Did they mention his Durag or anything like that? Not necessarily. Interesting. But let's move on to the Demon King. High-ranking demon physiology. Yep, that's true. He is literally the creator of all demons, unless he literally made their physiology. Magic, extrasensory perception, expert swordsmanship, enhanced senses, and portal creation. The Demon King can link his vision with others, allowing him to keep constant watch over Meliodas for the period of 3,000 years, despite his imprisonment in purgatory through the Eye of Truth. This is true. We never get an explanation how he did that, though. Like, we don't know how, from purgatory, he possessed the animals. Like, at least with Hawk, it makes sense. Like, he grabbed Hawk, grabbed the ham Hawk, put the magic in his eyes, and then threw him out into the real world. But for the birds and stuff like that, we're following Meliodas around. We never necessarily got an explanation how he did that, unless he just, like, magicked it. Let's just say he magicked it. Let's see. Yeah, in portal creation, he did make the portal. Well, actually, not necessarily portal creation. It's really like realm creation. Then, I mean, I guess portal creation would come with that, but like the demon world is not in the same space as the rest of the Seven Deadly Sins world. It's literally just not there. Like, you need to go through a portal that the Demon King had to make to another world that the Demon King also made. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's see. It is also a gateway that connected to purgatory. That is true. Size manipulation. Yep. I mean, ironically enough, not really. He doesn't actually, like, I mean, I guess, but we don't ever see him really manipulate his size in the way that someone like Mount Lady from My Hero Academia does. Like, where they like, can just shift their size. The Demon King kind of just get bigger by eating. But the thing is, he was already... That's the weird thing about the purgatory statement causes me just nightmares. Like, if if Wild didn't say, oh, he's eating monsters and beasts from purgatory in order to gain more strength and power and girth and all that, to slap it all over the table, like, then maybe it would make sense. But the thing is, we know the Demon King was already gigantic, and we don't necessarily have a scale for how much bigger he got or how much stronger he got from eating purgatory beasts. But that did supposedly cause him to grow bigger, according to Wild. But Meliodas doesn't even comment on the Demon King's size, because the Demon King was always massive. So I'm not sure how much taller, how much stronger he got. It's strange. It's really considering he was there for 1 billion years, but whatever. In large size, the Demon King continually gains energy by consuming the living beings in purgatory and constantly growing larger. Yep, that won't be applicable though, because we will be using Prime Girthy Demon King. Why did I have to say girthy? But regardless, let's see. Corruption. Oh wait, no. Because it's consistently grow larger, possessing up to pretend. Yeah, okay. Corruption, all types. Yes. Quite literally, yes, all types. Corruption, all types. Possession, the Demon King can possess others through the Ten Commandments and corrupt his victims, forcing them to turn to his vessel. Yep, he did that to Meliodas. He did it to Zeldris. He did it to Britannia itself. He is definitely a corrupter. Immortality type 1, 3, limited 6, and 8. Stated his soul consciousness in the Ten Commandments. As long as the Ten Commandments remain, he will never die. Yep, bro is pretty much fundamentally immortal. Like, his original body, if left untouched by Meliodas for some reason, would have just kept living. Like, notably, he says he wants a younger vessel, so his body does age. It does get weaker with time. Like, his prime self is stronger than his old self, despite his old self consuming purgatory beasts. Half of this maybe because half of his power is sealed in the Ten Commandments, and thus he doesn't have access to all of it. The other half just because his younger self was just legitimately stronger. But even still with that, he is quite literally immortal. Like, I don't think he would have died. And notably, out of the duo, he seems to be... But then again, he spent 1 billion years in purgatory. The supreme deity sort of sacrificed her whole physical form. So maybe she is capable of aging too, but the supreme deity, even 3,000 years back when Meliodas and Elizabeth fought against her and the Demon King, she didn't actually look old at all. Then again, we don't necessarily get to see her face, but Nakaba has drawn her face. And unlike the Demon King, who looks like old, wrinkly, has this really big, thick, fluffy beard on him, the supreme deity just looks fine. Like, literally just looks, at best, in her, like, 30s. If that. Realistically, she looks like she's like 27. If you've seen it, like, you can just look up Supreme Deity face and you'll see the image I'm referring to. Nakaba drew it in honor of the Cursed by Light movie. But with that being said, she doesn't actually look that old. So I wonder what's up with the Demon King on that front. Self-sustenance, type 1, 2, and 3. Lacks need for sustenance, it doesn't have a physical body. No. When? I'm not sure what they're referring to there. Lacks the need for sustenance and doesn't need a physical... Doesn't have a physical body. I'm trying to think. He does, in every case we've seen him be, like, the commandments don't technically have a physical body, but even then the commandments are little dark orbs, so they're physical. I'm not sure about that, because I think they're going off the idea that purgatory is supposedly only meant to hold souls and stuff like that. But that's the Demon King's real body. He was, like, you even mentioned that he was sealed in there. That's the Demon King's, like that's not his soul. We've seen his soul. Interactive of his soul. Like, we've seen him and Zeldris go at it. That was the Demon King's soul. We've seen Mel interact with the Demon King's soul. We've seen the soul be interacted with before, but I think that's a misconception. That body that we see in the purgatory is his actual original body. And that's why it's so impressive that Meliodas, like, straight up across the pond, cross an entire, in a different literal time space, when he attacked the commandments, he actually also got rid of the Demon King's real body. Like, that's the impressive thing there. So that is his real body. So I will disagree with that a little bit. Let's see. Limited incorporeality. He could exist inside the Ten Commandments without a body. Okay. I suppose. But even then, the Ten Commandments are tangible. You don't see many characters grab them, but they are like they are things. They can phase into you, but they are things. Weather manipulation and environmental destruction. His presence offsets the balance of the world, generating cataclysms like earthquakes and destructive storms. Yep, and he can also just make destructive storms. Summoning should scale from Zeldris and Meliodas, who can extract the commandments, who absorb... Interesting that scale. Summon them at will. That scale. He made them. So yeah, it makes sense that he can summon them. Telekinesis. Yeah, we've seen him float things before. Curse manipulation. Can curse others. For some, like, when I heard curse manipulation, my brain went JJK. But no, not that curse manipulation. The other curse manipulation, not that curse manipulation. But let's see. Boy's brain completely blank. But let's see. Curse manipulation can curse others with a type of immortality, rain curses over Belial with a supreme deity, create the Ten Commandments in the past, which are demonic curses. Yep, all curses. Fire manipulation, air manipulation, poison manipulation, create a large energy storm that is intensely toxic and caustic. Yep, that is true. He can just do that. Electricity manipulation can summon a lightning. Yep. Smoke manipulation and death manipulation can create mists of death over an entire city. Yeah, so that's just... It's I'd say it's a derivative, but it's probably like the original variation of where the dark snow technique came from for the gray demons that also kind of just insta-kill you once they touch you. But it seems like the Demon King uses mists rather than snow, which is interesting. Power bestowal can grant abilities and knowledge to others. It's true. He did that with Elders. Sealing can seal chaos together with the supreme deity. That is true. Power nullification can nullify the magic of others. I guess, yeah. I thought they meant the ruler, but that's power inversion, not power nullification. But yeah, in terms of like the ability of multiple commandments to stack and sort of like glomp on and negate abilities, even of things that are supposed to be immune to commandments. Like the graces are immune to the curses and power of the commandments. They are. But they aren't immune to the amp power that comes with those, which is why they're able to be negated. So power nullification is in fact a thing. Empathetic manipulation and soul manipulation can remove emotions, which is known as a tool to absorb, as a soul and absorb and gain power. That is true. That is very true. Empathetic manipulation, soul manipulation, blah, blah, blah. Passive artistic amplification. I guess through eating? Why? You still yell. You still yell, my child. I want to put you back here so I do not have to squint. My glasses are nowhere to be found. How could you, computer? Why must you scream? You cause me pain. But let's see. Leg manipulation and soul manipulation can remove stats and things. All manner of attacks, weakening. Okay. Yeah. Healing, power absorption, power modification can absorb any attack used against someone. The rule is activated. All manner of attacks or weakening that target him are turned into healing and strengthening. Yep. Creation. Oh, so we just ain't gonna touch on that, huh? So you're just gonna slide. Wait, let's see. Maybe they do. Creation, status effect inducement, corrosion inducement, mind manipulation. Create a demon world which is polluted and corrupted.
miasma, all of the spines are prone to rot and decay. Shield medicine superior. They use miasma to make all the beings sick. So you do slide it in there. You do slide it in there. He created an entire separate realm. But he's island level. Island. Bro's island. Island level. He's island level. Only island level. Bro, he's only island level. At least I think that's what 6 isn't planetary and stuff in like the 5A category, so 6C in all its forms. Whoa. Peter, what are you doing here? Talking about some 7 Deadly Sins versus JJK. Peter, why are you wearing a pink black clover shirt that you can cop on the link down below for as low as $5? And a peak. We got variations for all these shirts. All the different avatars of that guy with a pencil. Peter, why don't you go cop one? In the link down below. I do want to make shirts with it though, but I want to have them all. I want to have them all myself first before I start giving them all to you. So let me cook a little bit and y'all get shirts. But yeah, they do mention creation. They do mention it, but I don't think they'll let them scale to it. I think I've heard the argument. We'll get to it when we get to their attack potency, because I believe creation is more impressive than destruction, but blah, 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 blah. We'll get into my whiny little arguments and whiny little baby stuff in a little bit. But let's see. Skill from Meliodas, yep. Madness manipulation, his commandments can destroy the mind and drive them insane if they absorb more than one. That is true. Density manipulation, via Death Zero, the Demon King ghosts his opponent in darkness, crushing them with great pressure. Yep, he kind of just makes a baby black hole. Illusion creation can create illusions. That is facts. Though, admittedly, he only does that in his head. Or, like, in his soul. In a soul realm. That's when he usually creates illusions. So, overall, wait. I do believe he does have some resistances that I need to cover. High-ranking demons less physiology resistance as well as resistance to the following. Death manipulation. Scale from Hawk, who's under his protection. I mean, I'd say he just resists it because he can do it. Like, I guess. I think it's even confirmed that Hawk's survivability, like his ability to eat Hendrickson's like death manipulation attack, came from the fact that he's a purgatory beast. He's just harder to kill. Not necessarily because the demon keeps protecting him, but that's a way to interpret it. I wouldn't give him death manipulation and upscaling from Hawk, though. Let's see. Hawk can survive the dead end of Great Demon Hendrickson, which kills others with a single touch. Yep. Deconstruction, superior to commandments to Sarosa. Deconstruction, I finally realized what that means. That's talking about how the domain of God is made to deconstruct people. Like, the archangels even cover, like, yo, you demons can regenerate down to, like, from a cellular level. So we're literally just going to atomize you. Like, we're gonna absolutely annihilate you. So you can't do that anymore. And that is what happened. That's where the deconstruction things come from. I didn't necessarily think about the domain of God that way. I just thought they were kind of just, like, pulverizing him out of existence. But yeah, I guess that would count as deconstruction. Mind manipulation, sense manipulation, and statistic amplification, unaffected by the brainwashing of the Goddess Clan. That is true. That is true. Which is known as a breath of blessings. So sheet hope is the ability of the goddesses, high-level goddesses that can brainwash people. Yep. Stepping into their true potential and makes them fanatics who don't care about injury or pain. Biological manipulation, soul manipulation, madness manipulation, type 3. Yep, all from purgatory, electricity manipulation, and corruption. Purgatory transforms, purgatory physical and spiritual aspects of beings into purgatory creatures such as Bond and Meliodas. Purgatory also causes survivors to lose their sanity. Only purgatory survivors who withstand the supreme deity's god thunder. I guess, yeah. Sense manipulation, perception manipulation, poison, acid, heat. Lives in purgatory without being affected by the extreme environment. Temperature manipulation, superior to his sons, withstands the intense heat from Escanor, who can radiate heat that turns everything into nothing, even the Vampire King. So, yeah. Optional equipments, let's see. Oh, resistance negation, curse manipulation, status effect inducement. Yeah. Reinforce reticence renders anyone with hiding feelings or emotions able to speak in his presence. Age manipulation, passivism steals the remaining lifetime of those who kill in their presence. Yep. Aging to them to death in an instant. Petrification, truth petrifies anyone who knowingly speaks a lie in front of them. Sense manipulation, empathetic manipulation, memory manipulation. Selflessness can cause those with feelings of greed, desire, or selfishness to lose their memories, emotions, and sense of self. Pain manipulation, patience inflicted further pain with those who show intolerance to pain. Mind manipulation, piety can turn... Piety? Did I misspell? Wait, that's not how you... Hold on, where's my Google? I'll be right back. Let me grab the Google. But I think they spell piety. That's not how you spell piety, right? Maybe I'm tripping. It's entirely possible that I am in fact tripping. So let's double see. Let's double see. Let me double check. Piety. Maybe you can spell it both ways. Can you spell it both ways? Piety? No, that's wrong. So they did just misspell piety. All right. Mind manipulation. Yep. Mind manipulation, piety turns anyone shows it back to the wheel to become obedient slave of the Demon King. Yup. And by extension, the commandment's holder. That is true. Fire manipulation, faith sets the eyes ablaze for those who show lack of faith. Yep. Disease manipulation, purity curses those who conduct impure acts with illness. Magic nullification, repose seals the magic of anyone who fights without rest. Power nullification, and paralysis inducement. Don't fall. Power nullification and paralysis inducement. Love steals away the loves of physical strength of anyone who has hatred in their heart. Oh, okay. The one thing I will admit, though, it's entirely unsure if the true, like, he should. There's no reason why he shouldn't. But just by the way Nakaba draws and enacts the fight between the Seven Deadly Sins and the Prime Demon King, if the commandments were still active, like, half of them couldn't even fight. A majority of them couldn't be able to fight. Like, it's literally a confirmed fact of Meliodas that he holds hatred and anger in his heart. He has a ton of impure thoughts. He didn't have a commandment at that point. He shouldn't have been able to resist it. So I'm going to go under the assumption that despite this being we're using True Demon King, he won't have those abilities. Because that just makes the battle even worse. He's already broken enough as it is. Just covering his abilities and resistances, I'd say he has the edge over Sukuna. Just based on what Sukuna has listed here. As great as Sukuna's stats are, just power nullification, power inversion, soul manipulation, all that stuff that he had, world creation, portal create, like all that is a bit too crazy. So giving him the commandments on top of that would be kind of unfair. So based on the fact that he doesn't necessarily show the effects of them like other people who absorb the commandments do, I'm just going to assume they revert back into just raw power and they lose their cursed properties whenever he has them, just for the sake of my sanity. Because it doesn't necessarily make sense how the Sins were even able to fight him if he had the effects of all the commandments at the same time. So let's see. Attack potency, at least building level. Huh? We're starting off with building level. We really dropping the ball. But let's see. At least building level. Immensely more powerful than... Whoa. Immensely more powerful than entirely overpowered and killed the Finger Bearer, who should be superior to this curse. I know which curse I'm talking about. The big old building level curse. Varies with cleave. Can be adjusted based on the target's toughness and curse energy level for cutting them down in one fell swoop. So here's the thing about cleave. I'm not exactly sure what its limits are. Mainly because, like, you could argue there are no limits. And, like, it'll just naturally adjust. But I personally believe, just based on how it's explained, it adjusts with cursed energy output. It's limited to Sukuna's highest cursed energy output. So hypothetically, right, I bring this up in the Kurama vs. Sukuna video. Even though cleave is meant to automatically adjust and thus cut things down in one fell swoop, we know that Sukuna can use cleave on people and it won't cut them down in one fell swoop unless Sukuna's taking them seriously, meaning he needs to put more output behind the attack if he wants to one-shot them. We see this with Ryu. So if someone's power eclipses Sukuna's output, like his hypothetical limit of his output, I don't think cleave is going to Durneg anymore. It can help, but I don't think it drastically outscales. Like something like Kashimo's Lightning Bolt, in my opinion, drastically outscales him. Because it's able to do extreme damage to Akari. I don't think cleave drastically outscales Sukuna. I think it's just normal for him. It's just an attack that he can put more power behind. But if he can't put any more power behind something, I don't think it's going to work in the same like ultimate Omega Durneg properties. Like some tend to imply it does. I can see the argument for it, but I think it is limited. I don't think we can just like smack it up for anything. Let's see. Unknown. Malevolent Shrine. Instantly slay the Finger Bearer and split in multiple pieces, despite Sukuna believing it would be split into only 3 pieces. Yep. City block level, likely higher, was an entirely different level than Megami and Ishigami, and easily slayed Orochi and put Nue on the verge of vanishing. One-shot Mahito with a casual attack. We're going to find Amparo Nanami and take hits from Yuji. Yep, he's specific. The thing is with Mahito's soul, I've heard people saying that Sukuna, or at least the 3-finger one that Mahito interacted with, shouldn't necessarily scale to that Mahito. Or, like, he should scale way above. But, like, in terms of, like, physicals, like, harming his physical body. But remember, Mahito's soul is pretty much his physical body. Like, they're so well intertwined that there would just be direct scaling to him. Let's see. Varies with cleave. Once again, yeah. I think it's just up to the limit of Sukuna's cursed energy. However much he can put behind it is how much he can do. But, let's see, at least small city level, likely higher, much stronger than Jogo, who created this meteor, powerful enough to easily toy them before slaying with a single arrow. Yep, fought Maharaga despite his adaptation, a feat that no user of the Ten Shadows technique or even a member of the Gojo family with the 6 Ice has ever done. eventually defeated it, vaporizing a large chunk of Shibuya after defeating it with an arrow. Yep. Mahito was fully aware that if Sukuna used Itadori's body, he would lose, at which point he was already planning to use the true essence of his soul, much stronger than Itadori. Yep. Various cleave, large mount level plus. Yep, upscaling through the domains. With Malevolent Shrine is much stronger domain expansion than Jogo's and can almost reach 200 meters, greatly damaging Shibuya with a single use and grievously injuring Mahoraga. Unknown, immensely more powerful than his 15-finger self, and the Golden Age Jujutsu sorcerers had sharpened their skills against him, but were ultimately defeated. The Jujutsu sorcerers wouldn't be able to destroy his remains preserved in his own grave wax. Stronger than Rika, according to Yogi Akutame, varies with cleave. Right, so large mount level. I kind of discussed this a little bit in the Gojo vs. Zelda's video. I'm a little bit iffy about scaling the domains, just because we know, like, despite them being like little tiny pocket spaces, they're like smaller than they appear. Like Megami, specifically in the Dagon domain, which is one of the biggest ones we use for like scaling things to mountain level and stuff like that. Within the Dagon domain, Megami is like, my room is too small, but like Megami is like 10 feet off the shore, maybe 15 or 20, and he literally says the edge of the barrier is right here. So, like, going out, like, it's more, once again, it's kind of more illusion creation. Like, that far depth of the ocean, it isn't actually really there. It's only there for appearances. So, scaling from there is a little bit iffy, but I'll typically do it. Like, even if I think it's a little bit iffy, just based on how domains are explained. Like, it's an inner manifestation of a certain ideal rather than the actual place itself. For the sake of charity, yeah. I understand using that to scale, or else, like, the verse peaks at city level, which is not nowhere near as impressive. So we can definitely rock with that. Large mountain level plus, girthy, juicy, wonderful. Demon King, attack potency, large island level. I repeat, the man created an entire separate space. And in the 7 deadly sins, Cursed by Light, I'm still speaking about Cursed by Light movie, what do we see in the demon realm? A star! A star! He made it. He made it. But I think, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Let me, before I go deeper into that, right, let me read the rest of the attack potency thing. Large island level, far stronger than Prime Soul Meliodas, easily overpowered post-purgatory base Meliodas and Bond. Yep. Large island level, twice as powerful as Weakened State, at least island level, easily overpowered Afternoon Mael, possibly higher. Yep. Overpowered Full Wings King and Damaged Bond, both of whom were able to withstand a magic attack from the Demon King who was possessing Zeldris. Both of those are true. Unknown, should be far stronger than base Zeldris, however, he was easily overpowered by Prime Elizabeth and post-purgatory base Meliodas. Yep. Making his power in this form pretty unclear. Yeah. But no, notably, that it's, ironically enough, it's not exactly too unclear. Like, I know there are people who have contentions about, like, well, should Zeldris just scale? Should it just literally be Zeldris plus half the Demon King's power? It should just be that. It makes perfect sense why it is. Like, notably, Prime Elizabeth is the only weird outlier and stuff like that. But you can just argue Elizabeth got stronger over her incarnations. There's no anti-argument really against that. So it makes sense that she could harm him, especially considering her magic is super effective on him and he doesn't have the ruler yet. And base post-purgatory Meliodas is just strong. Like, he is. Like, we literally see he even starts 1v1ing an arguably stronger Demon King in Purgatory when he actually starts throwing it back. Starts popping off just a little bit. Like, he could actually do it. So it makes sense that he's that powerful. Island level in his second form, all island level. Overpowered post-purgatory base Meliodas after he started to regain his power as the Demon King. Yep. Large island level at full power, regain the power of his prime. Should be far stronger than his 100% power at large island level. Likely stronger than his possessing Zeldris. He held back some of the sins who are at full power. So they don't even mention it, but yes. In the Cursed by Light movie, there is a star in the Demon Realm. I thought maybe it was a flash, but no, multiple people have confirmed for me it's a star. I went back and looked at the scene. It is a star. There's a star in there. Stay hydrated, folks. Trust me. Like, if you couldn't tell, in the midst of me recording, I will consistently pause and just take a sip. You gotta stay hydrated. But the thing I hear as, like, the common counter-argument to the whole, the lore meta or the star meta, whatever you want to call it, is, well, we don't know how long it took them to make the realm and the star. We just don't know. It's just up in the air. Like, it could have taken them 1,000,000 years to do it. Like, we literally know how their creation works. We've seen it. Well, okay, I'll give them this. We don't know how the Supreme Deity and the Demon King's creation works. But you tell me how they just built a star in any, like, in a gradual, like, how do you even, I'm not even sure how you would conceptualize that. And in the Cursed by Light movie, we literally see the Supreme Deity drop out an attack that I'm pretty sure is literally named Supernova. Like, hold on, let me see. Supreme Deity. Let's go with, you know, I'll even use versus Battle Wiki. They should have it listed there. Supreme Deity. They don't have it here. Darn it, where is it? Notable attacks. Yeah, they don't have it. Deity, gosh darn it. Hold on, let me think. Supreme Deity. Somebody sends Wiki. And he says, Wiki. Give it to me. Give it to me. Show me the attacks. Show me the attacks. Power of creation. Supreme Deity created her own dimension separate from the main world, so let's see around immensely powerful gods ratio power. For the queen to a god's power. Where's the star? Where's the star? Breath of Bless, Shirai, Lightning, Power of the 10 Divine Wings, Graces, Dark Curse Immunity. We don't. It's not even listed here. But essentially, in the Cursed by Light movie, she literally just poops out a star. She just blinks and there's a star there. It's tiny, it's compact, but if it not stopped, it was only going to expand and probably just everything. So, but even if you don't like that, even if you say, fine, we don't know exactly how their creation powers work, and somehow they took like a Lego set and just bit by bit, block by block, put together a planet and put together a star, because sure, why not? I still don't even get how you can try and make a discussion like that. Like, just creating a star and a planet in a separate space is extremely impressive. But regardless of that, we know how chaos works. We know how quickly he brought about the world. He thought it, and it was there. I know the quote off the top of my head. With a single intention, he brought about the world. How? Let me do a quick Google search for you. How long does an intention take? Okay, I'm getting medical procedures. But like, well, let's just Google intention real quick. Like, let me make sure. Maybe I have a different definition of intention in my mind, but who knows? Let me just double check real quick. A thing intended, an aim or plan. So he thought it, and the world existed. We've seen Arthur think things, and they happen. They appear and can disappear just like that. We know how their creation works. And the Supreme Deity and the Demon King sealed chaos. So they must have at least, let's say they needed both of their powers combined to do it. They should at least scale to like multi-continental or moon level or something, because they scale to a person, at least half the power of a person who created the world like that. Like, imagine thinking something and it happens. That's what chaos works like. And they should scale to that. So large island level, massive low ball, at least in my opinion. I understand. I may be kooky crazy for Cocoa Puffs. I may just be a wanker, a highballing demon. But I think large island level's pretty low. But that doesn't necessarily matter for this intention, for this video themselves. Obviously, the Demon King has a massive edge here. Sukuna at his highest, even though admittedly we don't have his true 20-finger self at his highest, but at his highest is around large mountain level. Presumably, let's say he scales much, much, much higher than Jogo and Hanami and Dagon and stuff like that, which is logical. We can even say he's island level. The Demon King is island level, just flat out. And if we're just going by what the stats are listed here as, then large island level is going to be greater than large mountain level plus. It just is. And we can't use unknown to scale anything. So, stuck out of luck there. The Demon King has the advantage in raw, girthy, thick, juicy stats. Let's see. Speed, high hypersonic, immensely superior to the Finger Bearer, who is a special grade, Curse. Yep. High hypersonic, Blitz Megami for many meters away. Yep. High hypersonic, likely far higher, unknown. Wow. Wow. Wait, what? Wow. What? He's not even, we aren't giving him massively hypersonic plus? Like, we gave Gojo, wait. Did they change that? Nah, there's no way they changed that. Gojo versus Battle Wiki. They gave him massively hypersonic, right? He still has it, right? Don't tell me they took it away. Yeah. So wait, what the heck? Why does he? That's weird. I mean, we're gonna have to go with it because it's there. I'm not gonna. I'll tell you what. I think Sukuna scales way higher than that. I think if you're being a goon, and for some reason, like some weird external reason, you want to throw like JJK characters up against Kingdom Hearts characters, you can make the inaccessible speed argument. I think it's sort of a meme. I don't scale them usually to that, but if I'm feeling like a wank demon, Gojo is able to move in a timeless realm, which is the prison realm, a realm where time doesn't pass. Can you make multiple arguments against that? Like, one is not consistent. Two, the idea that Gojo already has space-time manipulation on an atomic level, and thus he should be somewhat resistant to it. Are there a bunch of different reasons why Gojo could be moving in there just fine? Yeah, but if we're wanking, which I believe we are, everyone appreciates a good wank here or there. But with that being the case, at least massively hypersonic plus. Like, characters like Hikari are able to react somewhat. Sure, the lightning bolt is still considered undodgeable according to the narrator, but even Hikari in Jackpot, who is extremely powerful, I wouldn't say as strong as Sukuna at this point, even he's able to somewhat react to the lightning bolt. That should at least put him somewhere within the massively hypersonic range. Not high hypersonic. That's crazy. And considering the reasoning they list for Gojo being able to be massively hypersonic is that faster than Joko, so is Sukuna. I'm got a shot that they have him so low, but that's not good because look at the Demon King. At least Master Hypersonic Plus should be faster than when he was possessing his sons. But at least Master Hypersonic Plus faster than we can see. At least Master Hypersonic Plus should be faster when he was possessing those. At least Master Hypersonic Plus comparable to post-purgatory base Meliodas. Higher in the second form, faster than post-purgatory base Meliodas. Higher full power. At least Master Hypersonic Plus. Okay. Now, once again, hi, it's your local Seven Deadly Sins fan here. Also scalar / wanker. Goddesses wield arc. Arc is specifically described as light particles. Every single goddess, every single bit of fodder that you see wields arc, which is light particles. And light particles are photons. Photons move at the speed of light. Fodder demons are able to fight goddesses and not get absolutely blitzed by them. Fodder goddesses and strong goddesses too. The Demon King literally made them. He scales so, like, at least relativistic. At bare minimum. Even if you don't want to go with like the multiple calcs that you have for characters being FTL at a bare minimum, like Diane, like Oslo, like what's the third one? Snaps in the air. I forget what the third one is. There's another one. There's another very specific feat that's like a light reaction feat. It's Diane against Gother, but you may not like that because it's only stated in the data books, and just because it's light doesn't mean it's light. But then you just have Oslo. Go with Oslo. And there's another one. There's another one that specifically has to do with goddesses. And I forget which one it is. But there are multiple light attackers. Attackers who wield light. Most of which are beings who wield light. Oh, Ludishell even has a statement in a data book that just says he moves as light. Or not like light. That's the Naruto data book statement. Like he moves at the speed of light. There's a data book statement for that too. So like the Demon King should scale at least at bare minimum 8 times above Ludishell. Heck, even just regular suppressed Zeldris scales above Ludishell's grace, which allows him to move at light speed. So like, whatever. Massively Hypersonic is fine. I'm assuming they don't give necessarily reasoning why it's Massively Hypersonic, but I'd have to guess it's just off the Gilthunder stuff. Like, I know they accept that calc. I'm pretty sure. The idea of Melios reacting to Gilthunder's lightning beast. So I think that's it. The idea that the Demon King, who should literally be like thousands upon thousands, if not literally millions of times stronger than that beginning of series Meliodas, and especially that beginning of series Gilthunder, whatever, Massive Hypersonic Plus. But overall, yep, the Demon King has a drastic advantage in speed now. If Sukuna's out here at high hypersonic, not even massively hypersonic, yeah, the Demon King's gonna take that too. Lifting strength, unknown, likely class M, must be stronger than Jogo. Yep, Ku lifted the Meteor. Lifting strength, class G, likely far higher, at least class G, likely far higher. At least class G, likely far higher, at least class G, likely far higher, at least class G, likely far higher. Okay, I guess it's fine. I mean, these guys, we aren't throwing them in a benching competition, so the lifting strength doesn't necessarily matter all too much. Striking strength, that's just attack potency. We'll leave that be. Durability should scale to attack potency, I'm pretty sure. Yep, all fine. Oh, wow. Wow. So they don't even have that scale, but yeah, large on level. Stamina very high, can fight without a heart. Yeah. Fought Jogo and Maharaga back to back. He's domain expansion without any signs of being exhausted. That is true. Stamina superhuman. See, I can't even give a pass to this one because this is one of the characters that literally fought for 60 years. Like, there are four characters in the verse that have insane stamina feats. And it is the Demon King, Bon, Meliodas, and Wild. Because they fought for 60 years straight. Like, no breaks, no nap time, no eating, dumping, peeing. No, they just fought for 60 years. So I'd say the Demon King stamina is a little bit more than superhuman. But I'm not sure what's higher, very high, or we'll just say they're equal for that, because I'm not exactly sure which would scale higher in terms of stamina department. Range, standard meter range, tens of meters with Dismantle and Cleave, almost 200 meters with Love and Shrine. Literally just 200 meters with Love and Shrine. Range, tens of kilometers via magic, yeah. Hundreds of kilometers with environmental destruction. Meliodas and the Demon King were creating catastrophes all over Britannia by just existing. Yeah, and he also made a world. He made a world. A whole world. He made a whole world. But regardless, standard equipment, non-notable standard equipment, one-handed broadsword. Yep. Intelligence, gifted. Sukuna is an exceptionally skilled fighter who is also highly knowledgeable when it comes to curses. He also systematically analyzes and solves complex problems quickly during his fighting in Harada. True. Genius, as an extremely ancient being responsible for creating various curses and ruling the demon clan for centuries, ruling the demon clan for centuries, possibly millennia. Not possibly millennia. Chandler and Cusack are 6,000 years old. That's 6 millennia right there. But regardless, the Demon King should be extremely skilled and knowledgeable fighter and tactician. His display skill necessary with the sword is fight for his large size. Oh, yeah. Just in terms of general battle IQ, I'll always give the JJK characters because their verse are just infinitely more complicated. So I'm going to give that to Sukuna. Weaknesses, Fushiguro Megami plays so no weaknesses. Fushiguro Megami plays a pivotal role in Sukuna's undisclosed plan. The King of Curses is even willing to risk his life to protect them. So no weaknesses at all. Weaknesses, all demons are vulnerable to holy magic as it breaks down darkness particles. However, high-level demons have shown only minor damage for weak demons in their own level, implying the vulnerability is not extreme. Demon King shouldn't even have no weakness. Like, I don't even think he should. The Supreme Deity does, though. She has a weakness to darkness, or like just a non-immunity to darkness. So maybe, but highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Normal techniques, dismantle. Sukuna's standard slashing attacks effective against inanimate objects or anything without cursed energy. True. Cleave method of slashing, effective against anything or anyone imbued with cursed energy. Yep. Unnamed fire ability can create and manipulate flames into a single powerful arrow attack. These attacks is Joga special grade curse, specialized in power connecting abilities. This is true. I mean, switch to my shrine. Yep. Massive, 200 meters. Cleave and dismantle. Yep. 10 shadows. After taking over Fushiguro's body, able to control the ability of the 10 shadows. New way by controlling the shadows from the new way. Divine dogs, 7 divine dogs. So we don't have everything for him. Yeah, Sukuna's missing some good stuff here. Once again, I'll talk about it more in my own versus battle once I do it for Sukuna. Notable attacks and techniques. Demon. Yep, you got all the demon strats. Power of darkness. You got the power of darkness strats. Part of his demon biology can accelerate solid darkness from his body, which he can manipulate and shape as well as project outwards from himself. He also... Oh, but that's only in the Meliodas form, though, so that's maybe not applicable. Enhanced durability, black matter, yep. Flight, yep. Self-healing, yep. Weapon creation, yep. Yep. That's it. He doesn't have any more abilities. Oh, he beat Naruto? Pain Invasion arc. I mean, I guess you go large mountain level. High hypersonic, though. In Naruto? I wonder why, I actually may want to go review that thread. That's weird. I want to know why. That's sad. He only has so few abilities. Self-healing, weapon creation, sensing. Yep. Soul extraction and absorption. Yep, he can do that. Telekinesis. Demon King demonstrated basic telekinesis. He's forcibly pulled Hawk towards him in the air, taking Brother Wild. Yep. Telepathy. Yep. Which is crazy. It is true. He's able to project his thoughts across dimensions from Zeldris. He also possesses telepathic resistance enough to resist the brainwashing abilities of the Goddess Clan and resistance he bestowed upon Merlin as well. Yep. Commandments, they just don't apply in this battle for the sake of Sukuna. For the sake of our King of Curses, those aren't going to apply. Abilities bestowed, he's not going to use that. Curse infliction, he may use that. Immortality curse, he won't use that. Eye of Truth, yep. It's true. Hellblaze, that is true. Though I don't think we ever actually see. Does he ever use it? I don't think we've ever. He should use Hellblaze. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't be able to. But I don't think we've ever actually seen him pop it off. Because he doesn't ever use it on Bond. Like, yeah, he raised Purgatory Fire, but I'm not sure if that necessarily counts. Nature manipulation, display various nature-related abilities, summon lightning bolts, mist of death over entire cities, as well as create large tornadoes and planets. He made a realm. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna I'm never gonna let that slide. He made a realm. But yep, the ruler. This is the bad one. The Demon King's eponymous magic ability that also goes by his own name allows the user to invert all magic attacks sent to him, including Melios and Bond's full counter and snatch abilities. All magical attacks and weaknesses are converted into healing and fortification. Even the effects of other magical powers are completely reversed. For example, when Bond tried to steal the Demon King's energy, he was forced to give his own to the ruler. However, the ruler's function, conceptual magic inversion rather than magic absorption. Any magic meant to strengthen him or increase his power will instead weaken him, as shown by Bond. Despite this weakness, he can easily overcome it by deactivating the power of his inversion. So that's really bad. The Sighing Sage, who won't have access to that here because, I mean, he could just create it, like he created a realm, but we won't do that. Because it would take him time to, Lego stitch bit by bit a Sighing Sage, so he's not going to be able to do that. Hermit of Moments, same thing. Note, despite providing the commands for their abilities, Demon King has never demonstrated the ability to use commands himself. Yeah, so why do you even have it listed there? Why do you have him listed? I mean, I guess because he made him. But overall, with all their abilities, all their stats, reviewed, discussed, my own interpretations given on some of them, let's scroll back up to the big beefy boys themselves. The Demon King, And let's scroll back up to the King of Curses himself. Sukuna. Now, who wins? Or how do I think this battle would go based on these stats? I think the Demon King kind of bullies Sukuna based on these stats. Like, he would literally he would blitz him horrifically because there's a massive speed gap in between the two. And with his quite sizable power gap, with him being large island level versus Sukuna being large mountain level, he would literally just beat Sukuna to death. Like, he wouldn't even have to, well, he may use his sword, because, he has a sword on him. So he'd probably just slice Sukuna to pieces, and Sukuna dies. Like, that's it. Like, before, going with their speed, Sukuna would just instant lose. Because he wouldn't be able to react to anything the Demon King could do. So he can't even imagine, trying to throw out a cleave, trying to throw out a dismantle. He couldn't open a domain expansion in time, because that would literally just be done in before. He would be done in before anything could happen to him. And let's say the Demon King, for some reason or another, is feeling gracious, and lets Sukuna try to throw an attack at him. His physicals won't be enough. Once again, I gotta remind you, Sukuna is out here peeking out at large mountain level plus. Meanwhile, the Demon King's over out here casually large island level 15 times over. So his physical attacks won't do anything. If he tries to use something like Cleave or Dismantle on the Demon King's just going to stand there and be like, okay. And what? Like legitimately, because of the ruler. He would literally just consistently be healing the Demon King. Like, thank you. Sukuna, my body feels so good now. Thank you. Please, cleave me again. I want you to try it. Like, legitimately, that's what would happen in that interaction. So that's not good for Sukuna. And even if, let's say, for some reason, because the Demon King is literally just standing there, not in character at all, but let's just say for some reason the Demon King is just standing there, and Sukuna just says, fine, forget this, I'm opening domain. And he goes and opens domain. Once again, none of that's going to work, because the Demon King's ability would just sit there and be like, I'm swimming in the healing. Thank you. This is very nice, Sukuna. Keep going. Like, legitimately, the domain wouldn't do anything. And let's say then, due to Sukuna being extremely, he's a smart dude, he'd probably figure out, okay, I need RCT to try and do something against this fool. And he either maybe he tries to use reverse technique reversal on Cleave and Dismantle themselves, and then he does it, which would cause the Demon King to immediately realize, he realized the truth about the ruler. Let me turn it off real quick so I don't take any more damage, and let me one-shot him. And or he tries to use RCT up close, which requires at least relatively close physical contact. We've never seen RCT used on other people from a range. So he would try to get in close to the Demon King. He wouldn't be able to. He would just slice them apart. But let's say he does land a hit on the Demon King, uses RCT, then the Demon King's going to be like, oh, okay, you know how my ability works now. And then slice his head off. Sukuna has no win cons here, like, at all. Like, unless the only win con, I would have to take a controller. Where's one of my? I don't have a controller. I don't have a controller near me. But I'd have to take this controller right here. That's not a controller. Shove it up the Demon King's butt and just sit the controller back down and have him stand there and let Sukuna try everything, and then have him overflow the Demon King with RCT. But considering the Demon King was able to fight casually for 60 years, even if he was pumped full of large mountain levels of RCT, he'd probably just eat it. Or just turn his ability off. Like, he doesn't need it. Once again, I just don't see any win cons for Sukuna here. This is just a very poor matchup for him, especially considering how low the stats are, considering he doesn't have certain things. Like, maybe if he had, like, the bull or something like that, and it could just keep increasing in power as the Demon King just... But once again, the Demon King's not just going to stand there. That's the biggest issue. There's no way that with this stat difference, this is such a drastic stat difference of large mountain level versus large island level and high hypersonic versus massively hypersonic plus, that Sukuna doesn't just get blitzed and annihilated. Which is awful, it's bad, it's sad for the king, but it'd be like that, wouldn't it be like that, especially when it be like that. However, that's what I think. That's my interpretation of these stats and their abilities and the interactions based on what Versus Battle Wiki has to say. What do you think? Do you think Versus Battle Wiki actually has a terrible interpretation for Sukuna? Do you think Sukuna has win cons? Is there anything else you would like to cover in this kind of format? 2 characters from Versus Battle Wiki where I cover them and throw them in a battle. Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a page down below. Each one result as one Dama, some exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.